They really think Joe Rogan is sending emails out to comedians because they care so much about CNN. So today's subject, slavery. We are talking about Elle Reeves and her interview with Tim Dillon. And just to give you a little summation as we jump into this, some of my favorite comments are people straight up saying Tim straight up gentle parented her for most of the interview. Tim's 4 years younger, by the way. And things about how Tim had to basically push CNN and almost bully them into airing this full interview because CNN tried to cut it down to like 4 or 5 minutes and it was really a full hour interview that is now up on YouTube. However, we're going to go ahead and review part of this and jump into it right now. So let's get to it.
One comedian who was like kind of in that world, you know,
yes.
Fox, etc.
Yeah.
That I tried to interview. His manager told me that he wouldn't do an interview with me because of Rogan would get mad.
I don't believe it.
And
that's untrue. That's completely insane.
Okay.
That's completely insane.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is completely nuts. He was afraid of you.
Oh, okay.
He thought you were going to come in and really rough him up or something. There's no such thing as Rogan would be mad at someone for talking. That's crazy.
Oh, well, that's good to hear. Okay.
No.
Good. I'll let him know.
You think that's
Look
how
at
it
her
works? Rogan
face.
sends emails. I know you don't.
I
think
would-
that, but that's a crazy thing. Like Rogan's like, "What are you doing? Oh, you're doing this? No, do Gutfeld instead." No, no one cares.
I mean,
No one cares what anyone does, and the idea. I think people think like.
And what Tim is trying to politely say here, I just have to put it out there, is no one cares what she does. I've never heard of Elle Reeves. Joe Rogan does not care, has not heard of Elle Reeves. He doesn't care about CNN. They are people who have slandered him, very libelously, I should say. But Tim is having to explain to this lady, no one cares about you. You are irrelevant here.
It's very interesting. We see this with the QAnon people.
Right.
Where they're like, there's tunnels, and you go, it's really just rich people.
Okay.
And you go, well, but they're doing all these terrible things. You go, absolutely, but they always have. And a lot of them always probably will if they can get away with it. But the levels of intrigue that people build around these things, I don't find that they're not that super interesting. You know?
I just want to be clear though,
But no,
this
that's
didn't
just very
come
funny.
from, it didn't
But
come
it
from
would
like
be
a
funny
commenter.
if he canceled my appearance because of this. I can't imagine any manager saying that. I mean, that's.
Oh no, the
crazy.
manager I spoke to directly. in
No,
person.
I believe that they did. It's just such a funny and ridiculous thing.
Okay.
To me.
All right. Well, that's good
Yeah.
to know. Do you think Rogan would talk to me?
Heck no. Listen to Tim very politely try to explain you're not even close to relevant enough for Rogan to talk to you. He's a busy guy. You are either on Joe's terms and you got invited on the show. Congratulations. No, Rogan doesn't want to talk to you. Who are you?
I don't know. You know, I mean, he's a big get.
I know.
You?
Yeah.
Important.
So I mean, you could try. You know,
And
I don't know if I had his money if I'd be doing any.
I just have to say, Tim is so polite because clearly she's implying, like, do you think you could hook it up, Tim? And he's just so politely like, heck, no.
Interview. I don't know if I'd be here. I think I would be on a boat. I probably wouldn't be doing the podcast. I'd be somewhere else. I don't know if you'd be able to find
would
me
too.
with his level of income. I think I'd be gone.
Well,
It's not right. It's
Apparently,
not
I've
right.
been co-opted by what's called the woke right.
The woke right.
That's what I heard. There's a woke right now.
Yes, and they're
Fascinating.
they're co-opting.
I still haven't accepted the fact that I've left the left.
I did a CNN interview for an hour because I'm promoting my special, and then
my God, did you really?
yeah, and they
Who'd
asked
you
me.
talk to?
This girl, Elle Reeves.
Was she cool?
Elle, she was cool. She does all the, you know, when you see the Vice documentaries where she talks to the Nazis and the incels?
Oh Jesus, she does
It was that chick, and
Oh,
they sent
whoa.
her in.
Oh, that's a good move
I
for
was
them.
like, this is hilarious. So I'm sitting there, and she sits down. She's like, "Are there any left-wing comedians?" And I named 10 of them that are all in arenas. And she goes, "Oh," because their whole thing now is that podcasters are the most powerful people in the world. And she goes, "Do you think you're friends of the new establishment?" I said, "Well, there's 22 intelligence agencies, an entire legacy media. There's lots of Ivy League schools. There's this, there's that. Do I think Theo Von's the new establishment? No." I don't think so. I think they said to me at CNN, they're like, "We're editing the interview." I said, "Put the hour out." I sat there for an hour and we had a nice conversation, but you know, we talked for 1 hour and I was like, "Put it out." I'm like, "I understand if you can't put it out." And then she goes like this, she goes, "I can't believe you'd show up. People have said that they can't come on here because Joe Rogan would get mad at them." I said, "That's absolutely ridiculous."
Why would I
I said,
care?
"He doesn't care. He would never care."
He wouldn't
I
know.
said,
Oh, that's so silly.
"It's the silliest thing ever."
They think we're at war.
I just said put out the thing, put out the hour online. If
I've got to say, so to throw it out here, they think that they're at war, except they are so irrelevant, Joe Rogan doesn't even care. They are at war with themselves. They truly think they're taking down people like Rogan, like Asmongold recently as well. We've got people like Piker, like all the left, like going so hard for anyone that's even in the center or center right, that they think they're at war. And quite literally, they're at war with themselves, and everyone else, especially the modern person, most likely you, me, does not care about that war because we like who we like, we respect who we respect. CNN has no sway on our opinions anymore, and we don't even trust or believe any of them. I personally don't. I guarantee most of you are smart enough not to.
If you can only put out a few minutes on network, fine. But it's wrong to have someone come in and talk for an hour.
Right.
And then
use 3 minutes.
And then use 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Done.
How much did they use?
We don't know yet. They haven't put it out.
And did they say we can't put the whole hour out?
Guess what? Guess when they put it out, like right after this.
I texted this journalist and she texted me. She goes, I'm pushing for like a long form release. I go, yeah, man, just put out the interview.
Also, do you guys want ratings or no?
Yeah, we had a conversation about all these things you guys talk about.
Yeah, you guys have a website.
Then what are we doing?
Don't you have a YouTube page? Does
Put
the
it
CNN have a
out.
YouTube page? Put
And
the
she's
fucking
like-
whole hour out.
I go, she goes, what do you think the Joe Rogan show, why is it so popular? I go, well, one of the reasons is he doesn't edit people. They're not edited. They come on, they say what they want to say, and there's no editing. So
Well, and also he's just honest. These people, like you saw how that lady was talking, like that's not how people talk to each other. Like if I talk to you in real life, this is how I talk in real life. I'm kind of fast, kind of messy. But that being said, I'm not like, do you think, like, what if I were talking to you like you're a kid? And like, don't talk to kids like that. I talk to kids the way I talk to them. I just do curse less. Because the thing is, kids are smart as well. You don't need to talk to people like they're children. And that's a big thing that happened here. And by the way, I love the fact that Tim Dillon stood up and was like, just put it out. Yeah, why wouldn't you? I can understand maybe on cable television ratings are so messed up that they couldn't afford to put the full hour interview out there. But if you put it on YouTube, which they did, it would and did explode for them. Way better ratings than they've had for years, okay?
what's weird about those institutions is they will sit you down for an hour and then I guess cherry pick what they think their audience wants to see.
Well, they just want what they think is going to grab the most ratings and is not going to make them look stupid. So if you're mocking them openly,
Yeah.
and
Well, she didn't know when she said that. She goes, comedy's right wing. No, I go. She goes, name left of center comedians. I named literally 8 of them, and I said they all are in arenas. I go, what are you talking about?
It's so dumb.
What are you talking about?
The beauty of comedy and the reason I'm such a big fan of comedy is it is apolitical in the fact that a good comedy takes shots at the right and the left. I personally am a centrist. I believe that if you're far on either side, you're just wrong to identify with, I have to be this way or that. I personally believe there's truth in the middle in that sense. And I love the fact about comedy that we can make fun of even me for being a centrist. Oh, you're sitting on the fence, you idiot. You can't make a choice. There's so many fun jokes on both sides. That is why comedy in its most pure form is apolitical, because it takes shots at every side, if that makes sense.
It's so dumb.
I was like, you're saying that comedy's what?
By the way, I used to be left of center according to the metrics of 2015.
I said there's a lot of Joe's positions,
voted
if you look
left.
at them, that are left of center positions, and
Remember, Joe is the guy who signal boosted Bernie Sanders at the time. Yeah, he was a leftist.
there's a lot of my positions or anyone's positions. I said there's nobody that you can easily put in a box.
Yeah.
But they want you to be in that box.
Well, they're silly. And they also want me to be an enemy of CNN. I don't give a fuck if
You don't care who cares.
By the way, I
About
hope
them.
CNN corrects course and does
Right.
real news.
Right.
And just concentrates on the news and all this.
Yeah.
Doesn't affect
I
Joe.
don't want editorial comments from morons. Yeah.
But really, this woman just didn't know a lot of things. And she had made assumptions.
Now, as we make this last transition into the final minute that I'm mostly going to let play out, we have Tim Dillon on his own podcast. The thing is, I'm actually a big Tim Dillon fan. I'll just tell you that, because this guy says it how it is, and he will destroy anyone, anywhere. Is so funny on his podcast. Highly recommend to go check out his stuff, but let's go ahead and let him put it as it is. As you just heard, he said she doesn't know anything. This is brutal.
Based on not having the information.
Yeah.
So the way to deal with that is not to go, what the f*** are you talking about, you stupid bit? Like the way to deal with it is to go, oh yeah, I don't think you realize X or Y or Z. It wasn't to like, you know, fly off the handle and call her. Like friends of mine were really angry at her. Guys, she doesn't know. She read a few articles about podcasts and then did this interview. Yeah. She doesn't understand a lot of the topics that she's talking about.
I bet.
Or there are gaping holes in her understanding of certain things. Mm-hmm. And if I can correct her in a nice way, that's the way to do it.
No, and I think that's absolutely right. That's going to be it for this clip. But I just want to finish this out by saying that's exactly the issue, is these people are stuck in these echo chambers listening to their side and being like, well, the other side is wrong, which is why I believe, again, the truth is in the middle. Tim was so altruistic and so awesome in this interview. I don't necessarily believe all of Tim's politics. We don't necessarily agree on everything, but I can agree that Tim is a real comedian. He is a funny guy, and I definitely recommend you go check out his stuff. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.